Recorded Books presents the Kevin Powell Reader, Essential Writings and Conversations by Kevin Powell, narrated by the author. For the people of Jersey City, New Jersey, where it all began. Author's note. I am very proud of this collection of my writings, which stretches from the 1980s to the present day. Over that time, my value system and my thinking have matured greatly, and I sincerely believe that all people, no matter their identity or identities, are equal and deserve to be fully safe and fully free and fully empowered. My life work as both a writer and a civil and human rights activist is reflective of that. This collection is an evolution of my writing, my thinking, and my being, and also highlights how America and the world have evolved since I began writing as a youth. So there may be some language and ideas, particularly in several of the older pieces, where I was not the person I am now. I believe in honesty always, and being transparent always, and taking ownership always, and growing always, which is why I am especially humbled and grateful to present this collection for you, the reader, and for the future generations. From Song by Langston Hughes. Lovely, dark, and lonely one, bare your bosom to the sun. Do not be afraid of light. You are a child of night. Open wide your arms to life. Whirl in the wind of pain and strife. Face the wall with the dark closed gate. Beat with bare brown fists and wait. Introduction. Why I Write. I write because I want to be free. I write because I want to heal from the toxic and dysfunctional behaviors that were passed on to me as a child, that have haunted me throughout my adult life. I write because writing is as important to me as breathing, because writing has, seriously, saved my life time and again. I write because I believe in telling the truth, the whole truth, about myself, about where I come from and what shaped me, about America, about this world. I write because my grandmother, Lottie Burrison Powell, my mother's mother, could not read or write. I write because my mother can read and write a bit, but due to the segregated America into which she was born, my mom only made it to the 8th grade, and to this day I help her to spell and pronounce words she does not understand. As for my father, who was never married to my mother, I only saw him 3 times in my life, the last at the age of 8. The same year my mother first took me to the library, and I fell madly in love with storytelling, with books, with the word. It would not be until after my father was dead, I did not know he had died for over a decade after the fact, that I would learn from close relatives of his that he could not read or write either. So, I consider myself a miracle, and you can imagine how I am humbled and grateful to be a writer, one with more than 15 books, hundreds upon hundreds of essays, blogs, articles, poems, pieces of cultural criticism, and screenplay and play ideas at different stages of development. Because, given where I come from, the poverty, the violence, the abuse, the abandonment, the many years battling despair and sadness, and generations of trauma rooted in American racism going back to the enslavement of my ancestors, I realize it is some divine order that I am a writer, that I figured out a way to use my voice for myself, for others. And a miracle, too, that I've been able to survive so much because, as the Pulitzer Prize-winning hip-hop artist Kendrick Lamar has rapped, I done been through a whole lot. In the beginning, my mother was the first storyteller I ever met. She is a daughter of the American South, the low country of South Carolina, and I am the product of the Northeast, of urban America. But inside our home, my mother shared tales from as early as I can recall of her life as a girl residing in a 2-room shack. Her 3 sisters, her brother, her mother, and her father. There were stories of the vicious hatred of them because they were black. There were stories of their endless financial hardships, of making a way out of no way. There were stories of God and ghosts that visited them in that backwoods area where they had no electricity, no outdoor lights, no toilet save an outhouse. There were stories of my mother and 2 of her sisters migrating from the South to the North, of them being the help for white folks, of demeaning factory jobs, of men like my father who saw women as nothing more than mattresses or punching bags. These stories and more
Sample complete. Ready to continue?